Okay, so this is the Now and the Not Yet continued, part two, and this is stories from here. Couple of stories. The first will be from the ministry that I teach and lead, especially the Kiddie Boom, which is for 3 to 5 years olds when they come in. So actually, those who are leaving us turn 6 before they leave, and they enter the After Jul next year. One of those kids is the son of the witch, and what I'll try to do is never use names anymore, so that I can then tell people stories. Because we have a choice. If I use people's names, I can't tell you their intimate details, their confidential details. But if I don't tell you their names so you don't know who they are, even if you come here, you don't know who I was talking about. So I can tell the details, and that's what I want to do. So the woman who was a witch, who was baptized last year, is growing in her faith. She served alongside me for part of the year in Kiddie Boom. And that was a challenge for her to miss service sometimes. So we're rethinking that for the fall. But her son is in the Kiddie Boom, and he's a pistol. I mean, he's just all energy all the time. And he sings the songs from church and from Kiddie Boom at school, walking into the... And French people are very private with their faith. I've said that before. Talking about your faith almost to French people seems like you're trying to push it on them. And so people really avoid talking about their faith to not seem pushy. This kid walks in singing the songs from church. Oui, je peux, yes I can do the right thing, and different songs like that. And then he talks about Jesus to his class, and he told his mom, "Mom, I fought for Jesus today." And she's like, "Oh no," because he's a bruiser too. He can be a bruiser. She's like, "Tell me what you did." And he said, "Well, these two girls said God is caca, which is like poop. God is poop. Everything about God is poop." And he was like, and I fought for him. I said, "No, he's not." And she's like, "Do you mean you hit them?" She's like, "No, I just told him, no, they're not." And what else did you say? "Nothing." He said, "You have to really not know God to think that about him." Okay, I don't know if you process, because I know I'm getting overexcited already. In order to understand and see unsaved people with the grace that, well, we can't be mad at them because they don't even understand God's love until they experience it. You have to have an understanding of God's love yourself. In fact, you have to have an understanding of it and then have His grace for them. This kid is 6, and that statement is leagues ahead, miles ahead of some people in their understanding of how we should be viewing unsaved people. They don't know. You can't be mad at them because they don't understand what they're missing out on. And this kid said, you have to really not know God to think that about Him. Whew. And he's got lots of other stories. In 10 years, I want to see where this kid is. And so that's why I'm here. I'm going to be here that long to see that. So that's one story here. That mom who was in the occult, she invites people to church, and she's inviting people by droves. She had a hard time thinking, if I don't do Kiddie Boom next year, I'm missing out on my serving. And I said, wait a minute. You live your life in the community every day and are reaching a ton of people who are coming to the church through you. Like, God can't reach them through anybody else. They only know you. That is ministry. You are doing ministry. And I'll tell you, her real reason for one of her top reasons for not wanting to leave the ministry was, when we create teams here, there's a bond. And so there are like 3 of us that serve. And she was looking around one day when we were all worshiping together, the 3 of us beside each other, our team. She said, I don't want to miss that next year. And I said, we're in a small group together, and listen, you stuck with me, which I'll say several times. You stuck with me for the next 70 years, so even if you don't do Kiddie Boom, we're friends for life now. It's done. So know that I'll encourage you no matter what you do. And so for me, that's a win, because she's doing several other ministries, and she didn't need to be juggling. But she's bringing so many people to the church, and these are unsaved people who are then saying, you know what, we've got to tell so-and-so. And they call themselves atheists. I'm so excited when I hear that most of the people who come and then who invite other people who are doing all our free publicity for us, none of them are saved, and they get what God's doing here, for families especially. So that's another story. Small groups are when you have every person that's been baptized in the church in small groups. That's a win. It's for us. We say it's the heart of how where somebody should grow in their faith. That the heart of the church is our small groups, and we try so hard to make that the truth. That where people are drawn to, where they see their first level of engagement. Just pray for those. Pray for small groups to keep moving. We're looking ahead to starting new small groups, and several of us are going to be leading new groups. So every year I had 2 or 3 groups, and three groups, and that'll shuffle around next year. I'll still have that many, but be leading a new group. And pray for that. Pray for us to be able to disciple and apprentice small group leaders so that we have enough leaders for people who are requesting groups, because that's the bottleneck. It's a good problem to have, but is training people so they can lead the groups the next year. So that's why we're leading multiple groups. And we're getting there. That's the part of the cog that we're still working on well. So that's a story from here that's a win in progress.